Keir Starmer's inner circle is in deep trouble. £700,000 in hidden donations, leaked emails, and growing calls for a police probe. This isn't just a minor mistake. It could be the biggest scandal Labour has faced in years. Let's break it down. Something very serious is unfolding inside Keir Starmer's inner circle, and it could shake his entire government. We're talking leaked emails, massive sums of money, and whispers of a cover-up that goes straight to the top. It's calls for police. Involvement are growing louder by the day, and this could be one of the most damaging scandals yet for Labour's leadership. Let's break it all down. But before we dive in, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more hard-hitting updates on British politics. Once again, the man at the very heart of Keir Starmer's operation is under fire. This time, it's Morgan McSweeney, the Prime Minister's powerful chief of staff, who faces serious allegations. He's being accused of concealing nearly £740,000 in hidden donations, and now leaked emails are revealing just how deep this mess might go. According to the Daily Mail, McSweeney was reportedly told to write off almost £750,000 in undeclared funds as nothing. It's more than an admin error. If true, this raises explosive questions not just about Labour's honesty, but about whether the Prime Minister's office itself has been turning a blind eye to a major financial scandal. Yes, you heard that right. Almost £750,000 allegedly hidden away during the Labour Together campaign group's push to get Starmer into the Labour leadership back in 2020, and the background here is absolutely crucial. Labour Together, the campaign organization run by Morgan McSweeney, had already been fined back in 2021 by the Electoral Commission for its mishandling of donations. That fine, just over £14,000, was for no fewer than 20 separate breaches of donation rules. But now, senior Labour lawyer Gerald Shamash reportedly told McSweeney to abandon his claim that he had been given legal advice saying these massive sums didn't need to be declared. Why? Because the Electoral Commission was demanding proof. And when Labour Together couldn't produce that proof, Shamash allegedly wrote, then it may be best to simply base our cases down to an admin error. Just stop and think about that for a moment. Instead of coming clean, instead of being fully transparent with voters and regulators, the alleged advice was to hide behind the excuse of sloppy paperwork. But let's be honest, sloppy paperwork doesn't just make £740,000 disappear. That's not a typo on a form. That is serious money. Money that helped bankroll the campaign that ultimately put Keir Starmer in power. And now, this revelation raises a very uncomfortable question. Was Labour's leadership contest won fair and square? The Conservative Party is now demanding urgent action not just from the Electoral Commission, but potentially even the police. Tory chairman Kevin Hollenrock didn't hold back, said Morgan McSweeney has been caught red-handed, hiding hundreds of thousands of pounds, which helped install Keir Starmer as Labour leader. This latest scandal is incredibly serious and potentially criminal. And he's right to call it serious. This isn't a backbench MP fiddling expenses. We're talking about the man whispering in Starmer's ear every single day, the strategist with enormous influence over government policy. If his campaign machine has been playing fast and loose with donation rules, this isn't some technical slip-up. It's a fundamental question of integrity at the very top of government. Naturally, Labour are trying to brush it all off. Deputy Prime Minister David Lammy has dismissed calls for a police probe, waving it away as Tory muckraking. Speaking on Times Radio, insisted there's nothing to see here and tried to reframe Labour Together as just another group, working to reconnect the party with the British people. But the truth is, Lammy's dismissal only adds fuel to the fire. The public will now be asking, if there's really nothing wrong, why not welcome an investigation? Because when the official response is just nothing to see here yet. Leaked emails suggest otherwise. The public are right to smell a cover-up. And let's not forget the wider context, where Starmer was once again standing firmly by another questionable figure in his inner circle. Time and again, we see the same pattern. Starmer refuses to act, refuses to hold his allies accountable, and simply hopes the storm blows over. But the more this repeats, the weaker his claim becomes to be a leader of integrity and principle. What makes it even more concerning is Morgan McSweeney's history. According to a recent biography of Starmer, McSweeney wasn't just some background. operator, he was shaping Labour's entire strategy, pulling the strings on messaging, targeting, and campaign direction. Even before Jeremy Corbyn's disastrous defeat in 2019, McSweeney was right there, offering Starmer not just advice, but hundreds of thousands of pounds worth of polling data. This wasn't some bystander. This was the architect behind Starmer's rise. And yet, the very organization that carried him to the top has now been fined, exposed, and accused of hiding a financial scandal with potentially serious legal consequences. So here we are, £739,492 in hidden donations. A fine for multiple breaches of the law. A leaked email suggesting administrative error was just a convenient excuse. And Prime Minister standing firmly by his Chief of Staff, refusing to acknowledge the seriousness of what's been uncovered. The question now is simple. If the Conservatives are rightened, this is more than just a case for the Electoral Commission, but one for the police. Then Keir Starmer cannot just sit on his hands. If there's really nothing to see here, then the public deserve answers. Why is his closest aide tied up in a scandal that, in the past, would have sunk any other politician? Because this isn't just about paperwork. This is about whether the current Prime Minister was effectively carried into office on the back of tainted money. And if that's true, then this scandal doesn't just belong to Morgan McSweeney. It lands squarely at Starmer's door. Speaking on GB News' Late Show Live with Bev Turner, Donald Trump's former countertour chief, Sebastian Gorka, delivered a blunt message. Every nation must secure its borders if it truly wants to protect women and children from sex slavery. If you believe in humanity, if you want to save those children and young women, he said, then every government should act, or secure your borders and you make the cartel's human trafficking impossible. If you want to save innocent women, innocent girls, secure your borders. Simple. Gorka urged the UK to follow President Trump's example, pointing out that almost 2 million illegal migrants have either been removed or self-deported from America, out of fear of its tougher border stance. By comparison, he blasted Britain's asylum system as cushy, accusing migrants of gaming the process, not fleeing persecution, but shopping for welfare states. And the numbers back up the strain. Migrants had already crossed the channel in 261 small boats this year alone. Gorka argued this flies in the face of the Brexit vote. It doesn't make any sense, he said, to the 17.4 million Britons who voted for sovereignty in the greatest act of democratic will in UK history. They voted for Brexit to take back control. What's happening now is the opposite. Sebastian Gorka anchored his remarks around Donald Trump's United Nations speech. The president's message, he said, is clear. Nations must have borders, and nations must exercise sovereignty. If you don't control your territory, if you don't decide who enters your country, you're not really a nation at all. He was also pressed about his role as senior director for counterterrorism in the U.S. operations targeting Venezuelan drug cartels. In recent weeks, President Trump has ordered multiple strikes on boats carrying so-called narco-terrorists, aiming to choke off the flow of fentanyl and other deadly drugs. Critics argue these strikes, sometimes carried out in international waters, raise serious questions. But Gorka pushed back hard. These people are murdering Americans by the hundreds of thousands. The cartels declared war on us, and the president has declared war on them with justice and righteousness. He explained that the White House is now using foreign terrorist organization laws to formally designate the cartels as terror groups and locking the power to unleash deadly force against them. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more straight-talking British politics and global updates. Thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.